This is a session on requests as we understand them in needs-based communication, or NVC. I've started here with a slide that reminds us that requests are one of the four parts, along with observations, feelings, and needs, that make up a needs-based communication expression. So similar to the other four, it's important that we understand the integrity of each of these four so that we can use them in a way that's likely to create the connection that we want. If you notice here on the slide that one few qualities of requests, part of that integrity, is that requests be present. That is, they be something that the person can do right now, that they can express their willingness, for instance, even if they can't do the actual action that we're asking them to do. So in terms of doable, it needs to be a doable task. So rather than get all your work done, then be very specific about which aspects of work, which task in particular that you would want done. And it's positive. It's what you want people to do rather than what you don't want them to do. There's only one way to do a do. There's a whole lot of ways to do a don't. So you're more likely to get what you want when you ask for it in a positive way of what you do want. And then this key part of request, a key quality of request, is differentiating them from demands. In fact, that's the very way that we own our own needs, is that when we express our needs and ask someone to contribute to those needs, is that we hold whether they contribute or not as a request rather than a demand. We're requesting that others meet our needs rather than demanding that others meet our needs. This is very rare. It's not how sweetly you say it or how softly you say it. It's ultimately, if we're going to see the difference between a request and a demand, that it's about treating a no response with the same quality of energy that you treat a yes. And in practical terms, that means if for instance, I say, Sam, would you meet me for lunch? I want to talk about our project that we're working together on. I'd love to have lunch with you today at noon. And if Sam comes back and says no, if I get riled with that, if I get upset and, Sam, we got to meet, we've got to meet at lunch, and I have this energy about me that he's got to do it, then it's clearly in a demand energy that I'm making that particular request. If, on the other hand, if he says no, then I can reach out to him, and the idea is seek to understand what he's saying yes to if he's saying no to the meeting. So it may sound something like, well, Sam, I'm curious, what have you got going on that makes this meeting challenging? And then we could perhaps explore another time to meet. But at the very least, I want to understand what he's saying yes to while he's saying no to having this meeting. All right, so in terms of requests, there are two general kinds of requests that are common in needs-based communication. One that is called a connecting request. And a connecting request, the intention around that is simply to create greater connection between the people speaking. The second kind of request is an action request, when we actually want someone to do something that is connected to the needs that we're expressing. So let's first look at these connecting requests. The first kind of connecting request that we often use within needs-based communication was just to check, was the message received the same as the message that I sent? Are they hearing what I want them to hear? And the prompt that we often use to express this request is, would you tell me what you heard me say? And again, I just want to be sure that what I'm communicating is what you're getting right now, that I'm making myself clear. So that's one of two kinds of connecting requests. The second is that I want to invite a response. I want to open the door for the other person to tell me, uh, to connect with me based on what I just said. So inviting response often sounds something like, would you tell me how you feel after hearing what I said? So we're inviting them to respond to what I said. All right, and then in terms of an action request, they're much more direct. Again, what we want is for it to be clear and positive and doable. So an action request example here is, would you be willing to get the report to me by Monday at 5 p.m.? Now, assuming they know which report it is, this would be a very specific request. Notice that we ask for willingness because they can't actually get the report to me right now, but they can express their willingness to get the report on that date. All right, well, that's the brief introduction to requests that I wanted to offer in this session. Thank you for watching.